It was noon by this time, and the sun was high up and shining brightly in the sky. It was the exact time that the spirit had warned Oyedele and Olatide not to come to their cave. He heard movements as the spirits crawled out of their cave. The sight was nothing like he had expected. You see, the spirits came out crawling on their bellies. Some had missing limbs, some lacked noses, some were blind, and some even had no heads. It was such a funny sight. Oyedele struggled to contain his laughter. The spirits were not the powerful being Olatide had described, or so he thought. Instead, they were just a group of wretched, miserable, and pitiable creatures. The spirits crawled to the wine. They drank the wine. They left gold pouches, and they crawled back to their cave. Oyedele bursted into laughter as he approached the cave to collect the money. He couldn't resist taunting them, so he knocked, and then quickly he retreated, laughing loudly even as he made his way to the village. When he got to Ajay, a thought began to form in his mind. The spirits must have a lot of money stashed away in their cave. They were weak and feeble creatures, and if he got a loaded gun, he could easily get rid of them and take all the gold that were hidden in the cave. This way, he would become the wealthiest person in the village, richer than his friend Olatide, and even richer than the king himself. He could live life on his terms, and Olatide would have no choice but to be subservient to him. Oyedele began to make plans to accomplish this aim. The following week, however, it was Olatide's turn to deliver wine at the cave. Unaware of Oyedele's actions, Olatide carried his gourds of palm wine and headed to the spirit's cave. When he arrived, he knocked. Ho, ho, ho. As soon as he made the third knock, the spirits rushed out of the cave. They ambushed him and they attempted to attack him. This time around, they were not the weak and feeble creatures that Oyedele had encountered. This time, they appeared strong and aggressive. As it turned out, the spirits were weak and feeble at noon, but at dawn, and when the sun went down, they reverted to their true, powerful form. Olatide begged them for mercy. He asked to understand what offense he had committed. They informed him that he had failed to adhere to their agreement and had returned to the cave at a forbidden time, witnessing them in their most pitiable and weak form. Olatide begged for forgiveness. He explained that he had just recovered from a lengthy illness and he had not been the one who saw them. The spirit sensed the sincerity of his plea and they forgave him. But they issued a stern warning for him to never return to the cave, thereby ending their dealings with him. Scared by his near-death experience and the level of betrayal of Oyedele, Olatide returned to the village, and straight away he went to Oyedele's house. He shared his encounter with him, and he warned him to never go back to the cave, as the spirits would kill anyone who showed up there. Oyedele scoffed at him and dismissed him. He claimed to have seen the spirits and believed that they were weak and incapable of what Olatide described. Olatide tried to explain to him that they took different forms depending on the time of day, but Oyedele refused to accept it and ordered Olatide to leave his house. Disappointed, Olatide left. The very next day at dawn, Oyedele set out for the cave of the spirits with a loaded gun. He was set to achieve his aim, to get rid of all the spirits and claim all the gold in their cave. Well, unfortunately, that day and that morning was the last time anyone saw Oyedele, as he never returned to the village. Search parties and village hunters searched the whole place, but he was never found. No one knew what happened to him. Olatide believed that Oyedele had met with a terrible fate at the hands of the spirits, but he never disclosed this to anyone. Olatide himself never returned to the spirit cave, but continued to live comfortably, selling his palm wine to the villagers of Aje. So, this ends the story of Oyedele, a greedy and obstinate man who was lost forever to his own stubbornness.